Hello, guys and gals, and welcome. So today we're going to be going over games that I'm excited for 2023. The first game that's coming out next year that I'm definitely excited for is the game called Starfield, and I'm going to go ahead and play a Starfield trailer in the background here as we talk about it. Now, Starfield seems to me like it is going to be a game sort of in the same vein as Skyrim or Oblivion, um, uh, where Fallout even, just in kind of like a different universe. So instead of being in the universe of ancient times like Skyrim, or being in a post-apocalyptic world like Fallout, this one seems to take place in a universe where we're among the stars essentially, and it sounds like a pretty fun game. I would assume that we explore planets much the same way that when you explore in Fallout and Skyrim, you're exploring a planet. Granted, you can't go to different planets, but does it really matter? We'll see a lot more futuristic style weapons, so it will probably be a lot closer to Fallout than it will be to Skyrim. I imagine a lot less like melee weapons would be involved. The graphics that we have definitely sort of symbolize almost like a spacefaring kind of community, very similar to like something like a more advanced NASA, which is certainly interesting. We have little mech robots running around, which is pretty cool, and obviously it seems like we may also have our own spaceship to travel in between the planets. I'm assuming that there's probably some kind of maybe upgrade system that involves with the spaceship, because most games that have spaceships will have some kind of upgrade system. And Starfield is a game that's been coming for a very long time, though. And we all have to admit to ourselves that maybe Starfield isn't coming out next year because, well, it's been in development for a very long time. The next game on my list is Diablo 4. Now, Diablo 4 is definitely a game that I think a lot of people are looking forward to, hopeful at the very least, because Diablo 4 is going to be the direct successor to Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 Resurrected. Now, I think more people lean toward the Diablo 2 Resurrected style of things, but Diablo 3 has definitely picked up steam since the Reaper of Souls expansion, which definitely breathed a little bit of new life into the game where it was otherwise failing. This particular game promises to have styles and art that is more in line with Diablo 1, and an itemization that is more in line with Diablo 2. The promises that they're making are that this game, Diablo 4, will be returning more towards its roots as opposed to Diablo 3, which had a art style which was very foreign to the series, and a system which was very foreign to the series. Now they are promising that Diablo 4 will have a combat system similar to Diablo 3's, but I'm not exactly sure what we're going to be getting ourselves into. As it is right now, Diablo 4 definitely looks more like an MMO than it does an ARPG. I guess we will have an ARPG MMO, which is not exactly a new concept. There are definitely quite a few games out there that have done this, even far into the past. One of the ones that glares out at me the most is Hellgate London, which was most definitely an ARPG MMO style game. It even had a subscription service. And it was made by the same people that made Diablo 2. So it's, kind of an interesting concept. Now, whether or not Diablo 4 will be a rip-roaring success or ultimately a failure like Diablo 3 was in its first couple days, we don't know. But I do believe that they will stand behind their product and work on it no matter what ends up happening. Although a lot of shadow has been cast on Blizzard since the release of Diablo Immortal, which has definitely caused some feathers to ruffle. Next on the list is another game that I think you'll enjoy. This one is made by, was it Cyro Games? It's called Dune Spice Wars. A long time ago, there was a game that came out called Dune 2000, and I absolutely adored this game. I cannot even explain to you how much I just just utterly played Dune 2000 until it was a ragged, like cloth left in my hands, and I could barely even recognize its existence anymore, because I had so much fun playing the campaign, the multiplayer, setting up maps and all sorts of interesting things. And this game seems to be very similar in a lot of regards to the original Dune 2000. Obviously, we're going to see the three different factions in this game: the House Atreides, the Harkonnen, and I can't remember the green one. It was always the one that sounds like a snake. I want to say Slytherin, but I know that's Hogwarts. But in this particular game, you have to govern your resource management as well as dangers within the particular area. Like, for instance, right here you see a mining ship. A lot of the times, what will happen is the actual the worms, the desert worms, will come up and eat your mining ship, basically ruining any kind of things that you could get. There you go. You see how we have Atreides right here and Harkonnen. I'm just going to see if I can see the other house name in here. I'm sure one of you guys will remind me in the comments. But I do remember they were the trade organization. Oh yeah, there's the worm right there eating up people. It was a very interesting game, Dune 2000, because you had to govern over not just your army and resource management, but you also had to circumnavigate the natural dangers of the worms, and as you did, you were able to beat the enemy. But it was pretty cool. I'm hoping that Dune Spice Wars will live up to the Dune 2000's old expectations, because it was really an amazing game. And if you are unaware, the same company that made Dune 2000 was the same company that made the original Command and Conquer. Next on my list is a Nintendo product. It is Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I am actually pretty excited to play this on stream. I actually really want to play the new Zelda game on stream. I didn't have my channel when Zelda Breath of the Wild came out, and I really, really enjoyed playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. It would have been fun to record that and post it on my channel, but I never really got the chance. But with this new game, I will most likely be playing this on stream when it comes out. And I don't really care what the hell else is out, because we'll probably just be playing this until we beat it. And I hope I don't get copyright striked into oblivion. But honestly, it should be a rip-roaring fun success, because quite honestly, Zelda Breath of the Wild was an amazing game. I absolutely loved it. And Tears of the Kingdom should also be an amazing game, hopefully. If it uses the same engine as Breath of the Wild, I can certainly see it doing well. I can also cite some previous games that kind of followed the same suit as this is following. So if you guys ever played Zelda Ocarina of Time, Zelda Ocarina of Time is hailed as one of the greatest Zelda games of all time, right? Well, thing is there is also a game that was made directly after Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, that also did extremely well and used all the same engine and assets that Zelda Ocarina of Time did. And this is probably going to be a similar situation. They have the Zelda Breath of the Wild engine and all of the assets, and they're probably going to use those in combination with whatever new stuff that they create, and we're going to see basically a whole new story, but kind of in the same game as before, and probably with new mechanics that we will have to learn as we go along. So this should be very, very fun. The next game on the list is Octopath Traveler 2. This is another game that actually I played, Octopath Traveler 1, when it came out, and I was really, really excited for Octopath Traveler 1. I played everything, I killed all the bosses, I did all the secrets, and I had so much fun playing Octopath Traveler. It was definitely like a reliving of the old MMO days, like Final Fantasy VI. Sorry, MMO. RPG days, like Final Fantasy VI, for instance, or Final Fantasy 1. It's very similar in a lot of regards, but also has a lot more, advanced mechanics that definitely make it a little bit more fun than some of the older ones, which are a little more simplified. And the different paths definitely makes a lot of fun because you can obviously pick specific characters and focus on those specific characters for your best benefit. And it makes for a really nice team based game too, because you choose the team members that are going to help your main character the best. And it definitely works out to your advantage. There's really not a lot I can say about Octopath Traveler, the original, because it's just such an amazing old school RPG, JRPG would be the correct term. The graphics were absolutely amazing, and quite honestly, it just lived up to expectations. If you want a romp in the old style JRPGs, like Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, or even it's also very similar in a lot of ways to the I'm trying to remember the name of it right off the top of my head, but I can't. Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger was is a very similar to that style as well, and I think if you enjoyed any of those games, you probably will enjoy this one. And hopefully, when this one comes out, I can also be playing this one on live stream with you guys. The next one on the list is Hogwarts Legacy. So Hogwarts Legacy is actually pretty exciting. It is probably one of the coolest looking Harry Potter esque style games that I've seen so far. More in the vein of like an actual full fledged game as opposed to something silly like Harry Potter Lego, which I'm not saying Harry Potter Lego games were bad or anything, but they definitely were a lot less serious. And there definitely are a lot of serious elements to Harry Potter. It's a very dark and very grim game. People die. There's curses. There's a bad guy who is trying to take over the world, essentially. Some giant spiders that will literally eat you and kill you. Freaking basilisks that will turn you to stone. And apparently even undead, according to the trailer. And I have no doubt that this game will be a very fun one to play, especially if they get it right. It seems in every way very similar to almost like a Skyrim game, except more, you know, in the future, so to speak. But imagine if Skyrim was in the future, but you still had magic. You know, you still could do these things. That's kind of more similar to what's going on. So you're capable of obviously getting that magical effects that you would like. There we go. That seems to be a mount. Got the freaking trolls. This one, honestly, it should be a blast. These games, all of them, I don't think all of them actually have release dates yet. Let me do a little bit of research here. So, according to the internet, Hogwarts Legacy is going to be released on February 10th next year, which is pretty close. And Octopath Traveler 2 is going to be released on July 13th. No, that was the original. My bad. The second one is going to be on February 24th, 2023. And then we have Starfield. I don't believe has a date yet. It's just labeled for 2023, so we don't really know when that one's going to be. Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom is going to be released on July. No, that's not correct. Bink. May 12th, 2023. So we got a lot of stuff in the early sort of ish section of 2023. Obviously within the first quarter, I guess would be the term, or maybe even within the second quarter, but pretty close to the beginning of 2023. And then we also have the Dune Spice Wars, which apparently was released on April 26th of 2022. Maybe it is a early access. It is early access. I usually like to wait until the games are closer to their full version, but maybe we'll have to take a look at that one in its early access state. See if it's anywhere near close to finished. One thing that I definitely don't like about early access games is some of them are early access way too soon and they are completely unfinished. One example that I could make of that is freaking Subnautica. I was a backer of Subnautica from the very beginning, like the day one when they first put up the Kickstarter or whatever it was that they did. I think it was like a support call, and everybody could download the version of the game that they currently had available. It was nowhere near finished, and it was just a like completely uncompleted mess. But other games, when they go early access, definitely have a lot more polish to them. So I'll definitely have to check out Dune Spice Wars and see how far along that one is. Now, no official date was given for Diablo 4's release date. It just said 2023, but there is some leaks that are pointing to potentially April. Now, it very well could be true that they plan on releasing it on April, but doesn't necessarily mean that's when it's going to come out. Release dates change and things get updated as the schedules, uh, become more solid, more set in stone, and then you start to realize when the game is actually going to come out. So even if this is like their projected release date that was somehow leaked, there's no guarantee that that is actually going to be the release date, so keep that in mind. And that's pretty much it. Those are the games that I'm excited for 2023. And if you follow my channel, there's a very good chance that you're going to see me play at least one or two of those. Most likely Diablo 4 at the very least. And quite honestly, I can't see myself not playing the Zelda game. Hogwarts Legacy could be one that I play as well. Although I'm a little worried about that one because it's a movie style game that they may incorporate a lot of copyrighted music in it. I guess we'll have to find that out when we stream it. As always, I'd appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when we're just talking about upcoming games and what looks good. And as always, keep watching.